So this is the 02:35 hours GMT edition of the KHOODEELAAR television channel being broadcast only on the internet. And this is part A of the edition for Monday the 12th of December 2022. This one, we shall be taking a look at the Mail on Sunday. The Mail on Sunday is, of course, the leading part of the attack on Meghan Markle and Harry Windsor. And there has been ongoing legal issues, court actions ongoing, currently underway between Harry and Meghan and on the one hand and the Daily Mail group, Mail on Sunday, on the other. And as we have said before, the Daily Mail group is delaying, deliberately, intentionally delaying the publication of the allegations that have been made in court against the Mail on Sunday, Daily Mail, by, amongst others, Elton John, Elizabeth Harley, and of course by Harry Windsor. Now, according to the piece in The Guardian about this subject, the Mail group is using, and this is my interpretation, not the Guardian's or the others' private lie either, is that the Mail on Sunday group or the Daily Mail group is lying, abusing the corrupt tactics in order to delay publication of its wrongdoing, publication of allegations of its wrongdoing. So having said that, the Daily Mail, Mail on Sunday, has got a piece about a white woman, and the reason why I'm mentioning the white will become clear when I read the piece. The white woman has said, according to the piece exclusive interview done by Harriet Dennis. Harriet is spelled Harriet, and Dennis is spelled a bit differently, Dennys. So Harriet is a woman, of course, Dennis. Exclusive interview on pages 32 and 33 of the Mail on Sunday. Now, this is the main heading to the exclusive interview piece. A banker offered me a £5 million indecent proposal to sleep with him. It was in the heart of London, says the businesswoman who brokered Newcastle United's deal with the Saudis. So don't tell Amanda Stabile, that's the name of the businesswoman. Her Arab clients are the world's worst misogynists, because this businessman, this banker, who offered her a £5 million indecent proposal, £5 million indecent proposal to sleep with him in the city of London, must be a white one. And the first highlighted quote from the interview is, "I just ended up screaming and crying. I was so revolted and disgusted." Now, let's see this piece and what motivates me to read this mention this is that if the Mail on Sunday can say that the Arabs are not the world's worst misogynists, how is it that it cannot say that Meghan Markle has not committed any crime by marrying Harry Windsor? When Saudi Arabia scored a second half winner to secure a shock World Cup victory over Argentina, few people in this country, this is England, cheered louder than Amanda Staveley. After all, the glamorous deal maker, now they're using the word glamorous, a former flame of Prince Andrew. Now, does that have to be there? Prince Andrew is a rapist. Adding his name there doesn't do anything to enhance her credibility, does it? Has good reason to get behind the Green Falcons, as the Saudi national football team is known. The 49-year-old owes the bulk of her fortune, said to be up to 100 million, to brokering so-called deals in the desert between oil-rich sheikhs and a succession of British businesses, the latest of which was the 305 million takeover of Newcastle United Football Club by a Saudi-led consortium. It caused a storm of condemnation similar to the project's protests at Qatar's controversial hosting of the World Cup. Some denounced the deal as a dark day for English football, allowing a despotic regime to sport wash its reputation. Others even suggested that Staveley, who owns a 10% stake in Newcastle United alongside the Saudi Arabian Sovereign Wealth Fund, was betraying women who enjoy little freedom in the desert kingdom. Wary of fueling the attacks, Staveley has so far kept her thoughts to herself. But now, with controversy still raging, she has finally stepped forward to speak in her own defense, and perhaps controversially, in defense of her business partners. She believes, for example, that it is unwise to disparage Middle Eastern states while relying on them for oil and gas amid a cost of living crisis. And as a woman in the Middle East, she believes that both of the boorish sexism that she endured in the city of London is little short of jaw dropping. Today, she recalls a 20-year career in which, for example, she was routinely called tits, tits on a stick, by a senior colleague in the banking, and how on one occasion she was offered 5 million pounds to sleep with an older male financier, an indecent proposal that disgusts her still. I know it sounds odd, but I kept thinking, prostitutes have to do this every day. She tells the Mail on Sunday, I don't know how anyone could do that. If I couldn't do it for 5 million pounds, it shows you how desperate people must be. I can't talk for other people, but I just know that my own experience has been very good throughout the Gulf. I've never experienced any sexism in the Middle East. Growing up near Ripon in Yorkshire, Staveley came from a business minded family. So we'll stop there at that one because that is the ideal kind of comparison that I wanted to look for. If they can say, I mean, this is stark, isn't it? Because this goes against all the things that are said against the Arab man and Arab sexists and all the other things. And she is saying that she never encountered any sexism in the whole of the Gulf, right? That is extraordinary. How come the Mail on Sunday cannot accept that Harry and Meghan are entitled to their opinion and their right to share their thoughts and ideas. I mean, how criminal is that? That is where I shall leave that one as a hanging as a question which I shall come back to in due course, of course. Now today, that is Sunday Times. The main story, the investigation actually, is about the COVID rich list. The COVID rich list has become kind of a topical and a focus of attention, public opinion attention, especially after a series of disclosures about this woman that the sleazeball David Cameron deposited, as I said, deposited in the House of Peers. Deposited, I say that word deposited because, in my view, on the evidence, Michelle Moan was nothing but a trash, and he flicked her into the House of Peers. What he wanted in return, I have no idea. But she has done nothing but abuse the so-called upper chamber, the position in upper chamber that she is a member. And she, according to Matt Hancock, the health secretary during the COVID years, she physically went around the Department of Health and threatened ministers until they gave hundreds of millions of pounds of COVID contract to her by a thinly disguised front organizations run by her husband, etc., etc. That is why the whole idea of the COVID rich list has become a concept that is substantiated by the fact that nearly 8 billion pounds was allocated and dispersed under the cover of COVID protection, this, that, and the other. And most of the goods or services were not used. That's the most important point. So the Sunday Times has written this piece, which I am mentioning. I'm not going to be able to display this because of the screen position, the limit problem with the screen, because you can see that there is a screen instability. There was a problem about 10 days ago that made my image look very, very odd. And that was due to the screen camera, etc., etc. So we've dealt with that one. Now we're going to have to deal with the instability, and I'm looking for a suitable location so that the camera can be, or the computer can be put on a stable kind of footing, and the instability can be got rid of, and the background on the screen can be restored to the normal standard where it should be. The image of baby angel Geronimo is currently on this edition not there, but I hope by the time next edition comes on, the image of the baby angel Geronimo would be there, replaced, reinstalled on the top left corner of the screen. Now, we shall end this particular introduction at just under 15 minutes, and we shall come back to the next kind of edition, not long after this. So let's end this one just under